welcome to the Skeptic Sanctum. Tonight is October 19th, and I believe today is Friday.
Welcome to the Skeptic Sanctum. Tonight is October 19th.
Getting some background noise. There we go. I'm here at a place called Midway Metaphysical and More. Off in the distance, we'll hear trains, gunshots, coyotes, and probably everything in between, and passing vehicles. So, why am I out here in a Midway Metaphysical in the middle of nowhere? Well, in truth, Midway Metaphysical is actually located on a junkyard. It's been around for quite a number of years, not quite sure how long, but it's been long enough to be ran for at least 2 generations. And I'm not talking about like, oh, my dad started it when I was a kid and now I'm the owner of it and I'm in my later ages. No, I mean it was here before they were born type of thing. So it's been around for a while. And it's not necessarily a booming junkyard anymore either. They've kind of toned it down. They're not really pushing it as much. Really what they're doing is they're doing the metaphysicals. They're really cool. It's Bird and Bonnie. You'll hear about them a lot. One of the old co-hosts is good friends with them. Tom's pretty good with them too. I'm horrible with names and faces. But we're here, not necessarily with Midway Metaphysical tonight. We're actually here with Ohio Site, or Site Ohio. Site of Ohio, as I hear in the background. So here I have their little logo, and they have a Spiritual Insight Ghost Hunting Team with a lovely heartbeat going on here. It's a good thing it's not flatlining. And out here tonight, I'm also with Spellwinders and a couple other people. Mama Wade's Smokehouse. It's a food truck. Looks like they have like pulled pork and macaroni and cheese. And I was just handed an amazing hot cup of hot cider, so that's amazing. But standing here next to me, I have a Mr. Peters from Spellwinders. So, Peters, you want to say hi?
Absolutely. She said my name is Brian Peters. Tonight I am part of Spellwinders, but more importantly tonight, I'm actually part of Site of Ohio. We're actually Spiritual Insights Ghost Hunting Team. We actually don't need to have all the paraphernalia to tell us ghosts exist. We actually believe that they do exist, and all the fun equipment just helps just show those who don't quite believe as much as we do that there is spirits out there. We are out here all evening. We're here from 6 to I should say 6 this evening till 10 o'clock tonight. So if you do have an opportunity, feel free to come out and check us out. We are more than merry to have everyone go out. As she was saying, Midway Auto Wrecking has been here for generations. It's 2 generations. Bonnie's parents owned it, and then they've actually turned it over to Bonnie and Bert here over the last several years. More importantly, when Midway actually did, in its heyday, they had over 1,500 vehicles, and majority of those vehicles were from fatal accidents, so the energy out in the back is quite intense at points. And I know from experience, and last night we were out with some equipment and we noticed that we actually were getting EMF spikes on the meters and stuff like that. They were even going up to red for us. So they are intelligent. They are responding back and forth to us.
That's awesome. So, like, what exactly are we here doing tonight?
We're ghost hunting.
I mean, I get that part, but I remember hearing something about tours and like half-hour tickets and whatnot.
So what's going on? It's actually, we're doing tours out. We actually have people who are actually escorting people back, and it's simply for the fact that we actually are on an active salvage yard, and in a situation where you have cars, parts, and stuff like that, the ground's kind of treacherous, and it's actually easier if you have somebody who kind of knows the lay of the land to help take you through.
So it's kind of like not only are you getting to like go through and do a little ghost hunt, but you're also getting like a guided tour, and if you have questions about anything, you have someone you can ask who actually knows the answers.
Correct.
So it's kind of like going to one of those big buildings and ghost hunting there whenever they still want, like, someone from their staff with your team out most of the time.
But the best part about it is you actually have mediums, psychics, clairvoyants. You actually are having people who actually can help pick up information, guide you to the hot spots, point you in the right direction, and then still able to tell you how the equipment works, help you out, even lend you equipment if you need it to help you along your way.
So,
plus, we have some high-tech equipment that you might not have seen anywhere else. We even have some dowsing rods that are electronic.
Oh, That's cool. So, would this be good for both, like, the higher end teams and people who, like, don't ghost hunt?
Absolutely. We actually had at 9 o'clock. We actually have a 2-hour tour, just like Gilligan. We're going to go back and take everyone back for the duration and see what things people can pick up. That's definitely for the more seasoned ghost hunter, because you'll have more time to work on stuff versus the smaller ones, which are more designed. If you want to take out a couple times, go for it. But the idea is that we're just kind of running in groups so that way we have enough people to cover it.
All right, that makes sense. So now we know why we're out here. So tell me about this little setup. We found this really cool tent here, and it's nice, big canopy, has these really bright lights. And when I came inside the tent, there was some tables set up with like herbs and books and more herbs and spray bottles of glass. So, Brian, why don't you tell me a little bit about, like, what is going on in this
So this is actually Spellbinders. This is actually what I do. So we actually have quite a bit of herbs, metaphysical as well as medicinal herbs, and then we also have quite a bit of products that I've made myself through tinctures and infusions in oil, as well as medicinal, as well as herbal teas. One of the ones that I'm most proud of is I actually have an herbal leaf reading tea, so it's actually designed for tea readings and stuff like that on herbal nature versus doing it through the traditional tea.
That's cool. That's actually really cool. I heard someone trying to beckon you off. Is that someone needing your attention?
That is, they were just wanting to know what time it was, so we're good to go.
So we're still good here. So I have a release form in front of me, and it's actually a pretty lengthy release form, so I'm not gonna read it out loud or anything, but I'm just gonna be like, so basically if you come out tonight, you sign it at the top, you sign it at the bottom, you date it, and you're basically saying that if you get hurt while you're out there, and if your picture gets taken and you get posted on the internet, there's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, aside from that,
it's the basics.
It's the basics of going to any public event where your picture might get taken, and you just like, you're not the main event, you're just there, and you're like, oh, my face. Well, if they can blow your face out, you'll be fine. No one's going to recognize you. You can come ghost hunt in peace.
And not only that, the other thing, too, is a lot of people don't realize that sometimes spirits don't want to present themselves to you in just normal form. But if you take some pictures, believe it or not, you'll actually see images and stuff like that. And a lot of times, spirits and ghosts will actually manifest around people because there's somebody they're interested in. So you might have somebody in your group who in one of the mediums might lead you to say, hey, you might want to take a picture of this person. I'm feeling someone around them. And it could be someone from the yard, or it could actually be a loved one that's decided to step in.
My issue is when I go to certain areas, I'll start having like all the children follow me. And I don't get along with kids, but they love me. I don't know why. They just flock around me. It didn't start happening until recently. It used to happen to my dad, happens to my sister. I'm just coming to the conclusion it runs in the family. But this has been happening with ghosts and spirits for a while now. So every now and then I'll hear someone go, hey, come play with me. And I'm like, I'm not where we should be playing. And then there's nobody there.
Speaking of kids, we were out earlier this afternoon, and we actually had one of the EMF readers, and we actually had to get down to a child's level to actually get it to work because we were actually drawn to bring it down, and we were actually able to get spikes off it, and we're actually able to carry an intelligent conversation with it. So there's definitely activity out in the yard, and there is also a tree out there that actually has some very interesting energy. We actually have been told that they think that it might even be something as far as an elemental goes, and that definitely makes the equipment do some interesting stuff. We actually had a heat gun on it, and we actually, at the low end of it, it was actually reading at like 54. By the time we got to the top, it was reading about -11. So
yeah,
definitely,
it's not. The other day it wasn't like super windy. It was actually really nice and calm. It was a nice like 50+ degree night. It was one of those rare fall nights.
Yeah, exactly. And so there should be no reason why the equipment did offer those kind of readings. That's just completely oddball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we're out here till what time tonight?
We are out here. We'll be out here till 11 o'clock. Last group will run at 9.
All right, so last group runs at 9. So if you want to come check it out, you got like an hour to get out here.
If you guys do come out here a little bit later, we might be able to help you guys out. But if you guys come out too late, we're not going to be able to do anything because that last group is the bulk of the night. That's going to run for about 2 hours for you guys.
All right. Well, we'll take a break here. We'll come back in a little bit. And when we do, we will hopefully have someone else to talk to and see what they do for a living and whatnot. Welcome back to the Skeptic Sanctum. I'm here with another random person, and it's raining, so do mind the background sound of the lovely pitter-patter on the tent. He's going to talk about himself a little bit. We're going to introduce him as...
Hi, this is Michael Black. I am one of the tour guides here at Site of Ohio's Ghost Hunt event at Midway Metaphysical Moor, or Midway Arts Outreach. I am a empath, sensitive, psychic medium. I'm here leading ghost tours throughout the grounds as part of our event. So I just am here just touring around, showing people what's going on, picking out hot spots. We do have some ghost hunting equipment that we're using to kind of give evidence as well as what we're picking up as we're walking around the grounds.
So what is it that, so aside from, like, you know, doing the tours, what have you experienced here yourself?
We have had some readings off some of the equipment we've been using. We've had some stuff that we picked up as far as the EVP meters and some activity we've discovered. We actually just, I came back from Ghost Tour just now, and we had a entity that was actually communicating with us via our dowsing rods. We were asking questions and actually receiving answers and responses to the questions from the rods giving us responses. Also, our ghost box I had turned off, hanging from my arm off the string. It turned itself on and started going off. So that's when we started investigating, and found out who the entity was, and asked just some more questions that we were...
Yeah, it was William.
It was William, correct.
And your name is?
Oh, Becky.
Alright, this is Becky, not to be confused with Becky.
I'm Becky Stein, and I was on the tour with Mikey. We led it together, and yeah, like you said, the box came on, and we also had some EMF meters that started activating, and one of our guests was holding the dowsing rods, and he had just said he really wanted to speak to a ghost.
Well,
so I guess William stepped up, and one of the cars had belonged to William, and he was in an accident, and he was content to stay here because he was waiting for his wife. He wasn't going. He was waiting for her to, you know, leave.
His wife is still actually alive.
Yeah.
He's actually already passed on.
Yeah, and he was just waiting for her. He didn't want to cross. He just was there to say hi, and so we left him. He's still there if you want to come out and see him.
You guys said his name was William?
Yes. That was William, yes.
Alright, we gotta give a shout out to William out there in the junkyard. Want to say hi to people?
And this is actually Becky. She's one of the founding members of Site of Ohio,
which is Spiritual Insight Ghost Hunting Team. We're not out to prove that ghosts exist. We believe that they do. We're just here to, you know, to honor them and respect them, and educate people that you don't have to provoke them to get a response. You know, they're people, just people without bodies. So,
she's also a sensitive.
Except tonight, because everything I said about William was wrong.
Sometimes.
I thought his name was Thomas. It wasn't.
Well,
unless there's still a Thomas out there.
That is a common name. Sometimes, like, I know occasionally what happens is you'll, like, everyone will get, on one spirit, they'll be like, this person has a very common name. So they think of, a common name that they're used to. So Thomas, if you know a lot of Toms or Thomases, then it's going to come out, whether it's the right name or not. Same thing with ghosts who have more unique names. Like, if there was an entity and I couldn't pick out its name in particular, I would probably be able to come up with a name either similar to it or of the same uniqueness. And that's one thing I've noticed over the years I've been investigating. Is we had a ghost whose name was I can't remember what his name was. It was one of those really weird, unique, farmer names that you don't hear very often.
Vern.
But yeah, it was that's what I said. I thought it was Vern or something like that. I was wrong. It was actually something starting at the beginning of the alphabet. But that's just kind of how it went. It was a unique name that came to me, and it fit the bill, but it wasn't the right name.
Well, I got Tom first, then it was no, they corrected me. It was Thomas. So I think possibly there was another entity out there but we weren't picking up on them. That's what I'd like
William
to think.
was more prevalent entity that really wanted to come forward and speak to us.
And that's the other thing too. Sometimes there's multiple there, and
A lot of times one will step forward and give more energy to themselves to actually come forward and actually
maybe next
speak.
time around Thomas will come out.
Alright, yeah, that's pretty cool. When you guys ran into a William out there, one of you want to stick around and talk about even any other experiences you guys have had so far?
Well, I wanted to talk about Mama Wade's.
Oh yeah, do that. We'll get
We
rid
do
of,
have a food vendor out here.
we'll get rid of Michael here. He can go do other things.
I actually came to get my debit card.
Okay.
So I could go get some food from Mama Wade's. But I'll talk about anything you'd like to talk about.
Well, he said you were one of the founding members, yes?
Yeah, actually, we belong to another group called Research in the Paranormal. It was RIP Ohio.
Oh yeah, I know those people.
Jessica. You know Jessica?
We've worked closely with them over the years.
Oh, okay. Or not Jessica.
Not yet.
Vanessa. There was
Yeah.
a Jessica in our group too, but
Well,
Vanessa.
we've been working with them for 3-4 years now. Because I know they were very prevalent at Conneaut the last couple times we went. Going back again in like 2 weeks. We're gonna be going back to Conneaut. I don't know if they're gonna be there again or not, but
I'll be there. Stephanie and I and all Spellwinders is going to be there, and Mikey, we're doing readings up at the Conneaut Hotel.
Yeah. We'll be there. I know my sister and my mom are supposed to be doing readings or something this time around.
Oh, okay.
That'll be cool.
That'll be my first time actually like giving readings at a psychic fair. I've done smaller ones, but
Same with my mom, but my family as well. My mom and my sister. This is gonna be their first time actually doing one. For like a public thing.
Yeah, we talked about that online.
Yeah, so they're really excited about that.
Well, anyway, that's where I got my start, was with RIP, but there are some of us that wanted to do a little bit more than just investigate. So we do spirit rescue, where we help them,
I know, I wouldn't like to say there was turmoil in the group, but there was a little bit going on. It's because some people had some beliefs and others had other beliefs, and I remember hearing about a split.
Yeah, we're the split.
Oh dear. Well,
but we're still friends with Vanessa.
So that would explain why I haven't really heard of you guys, is because you guys are relatively new as a team, but not really new as a group or as investigators.
We haven't been actually as active because so we formed probably about 9 years ago.
Okay.
But we started doing like events, taking people out, because we wanted more of the educating side than the investigating. So we had site mystery nights and take people out to a place. We wouldn't tell them where they're going ahead of time and investigate. And then we went dormant for a while.
Actually, I don't know if you guys were the only group that did that, but I remember hearing of other groups, or at least one group that was going through it might have been you guys who were doing it, having people sign up for ghost hunts in a town and not telling them which attraction they were going to, and then taking them to it. And that was probably really cool, because then they can't do too much research into wherever they're going.
Yeah.
And that was...
I'm trying to think how many years ago that was. That was probably about 5.
Yeah, this was right before we started actually ghost hunting, because we wanted to do one of those, but there were some locations we didn't want to go to as a starting team, so we decided not to do it.
I know that our most successful one was the Kent stage. We had about 40 people that night.
That's awesome.
And we were down under the stage, and at that time we were hanging out with a group that would do a lot of table tipping. That's when you put your hands on the table and feel the movements of the table, be your yes or no from the spirits. And so I wanted to do a little bit of that under Kent stage. I guess it might have been the orchestra pit at one time. I don't know. It's just a room under the stage.
Yeah.
And there was a big old...
the props room kind of thing.
Yeah, well, there was a big round... I mean, this thing was huge. It was like a cylinder of wood covered with carpeting, and I'm not sure what its purpose was, but we used it as a table. And we were getting the response, and this thing was heavy, so it's not like anybody was manipulating it. And unfortunately, I left. And that's when things really happened. My daughter was down there. They were talking.
They were hiding from you. They didn't like
me. Yeah. And I wasn't there. This is just secondhand, but that thing actually raised off the ground like a couple inches.
That's awesome.
Because there was a really angry spirit named George there. And he
I know
didn't...
George is usually angry. I know, like, I can't remember where it was exactly. It was either the Carnegie Library or Hillview Manor, in the boiler room, or wherever. Their like heater boiler room. One of them has a George, and he doesn't like anybody who doesn't like the Pittsburgh football team. Like, you go in there, you go Browns, go Browns. Things start happening. So people would go in there purposely wearing like jerseys from the Browns or other rival teams and stuff, which is hilarious because an entity would get so upset to cause activity.
That's a diehard.
That's a good question.
Oh, we come out tonight and see what Spellwinders has.
Yeah, Spellwinders got soap, herbs, tea stuff, things, all sorts of things.
I was wondering how much the catnip was in the soap.
Ryan.
So, I think we're about getting ready to take another break real quick.
Do you guys grow the catnip?
I do not grow the catnip. I actually use an organic source for all my products.
We're going to go ahead and take another short break. So, your name again?
Oh, Becky Stein.
Becky here can go get some food from Mama Wade's, and maybe when we come back, she'll have a review on Mama Wade's. And hopefully we'll have some good food by then. Alrighty.
I'll be back.
Hello and welcome back to the Skeptic Sanctum. It's me again, your lovely unpaid intern. And I now have a bowl of mac and cheese. Food. So, I've learned something. Pork and mac and cheese were made to go together.
You know, he started talking to us. He feels that it's intrusive.
Why? Because pasta and cheese, it's really sticky and slimy. But whole pork, when done just right, adds a little bit of that texture to it. It draws away from that sliminess of the mac and cheese and gives it a little bit of a grip, a little bit of oomph. It lets it take your taste buds on a wild, crazy adventure filled with cheese, protein, and spices. Not much else compares to this, aside from maybe like those crazy people who put pineapple on their pizza. Don't know what's with those people. But food, man. Mama Wade's does it right. Local, fresh every day. They do Memphis-styled pulled pork and a smoked brisket. They have smoked chicken, baby back ribs. I'm trying out their mac and cheese. They also have Memphis and pickled coleslaw, which looked really good, but I don't do coleslaw because greens. I cannot betray the Pizza Trill kingdom. Greens are bad things to have. And upon special request, they do lamb and salmon. You can always check out their full website at mamawades.com. That's spelled MOMMAWADES.com. CUM. They also have a Facebook page, Mama Wade's Smokehouse Barbecue, and a Twitter, MVS Smokehouse. So that's MW Smokehouse. And they have an Instagram, Mama Wade's Smokehouse. They cater, drop off, or do full service. It's all about you. And they're off over there having a jolly good time with their big white van, the white tent, white coolers. I mean, if you were going to kidnap adults, this is how you do it. You have a white van, you have pulled pork, and mac and cheese. It's better than kidnapping kids because kids don't do too much. They just kind of whine and complain. Adults, on the other hand, they're fully grown, matured. You could take them, throw them in a field, and they'll get to work. And that's just how they do. And if you hold on for a few more minutes, we'll probably have somebody else here to talk to you guys here shortly after this scrumptious bowl of mac and cheese. So good. And we are back here at the Skeptic Sanctum at Midway Metaphysical and More, also known as Midway Automotive Salvage Yard, if I remember correctly. I have another victim. I hear her name is Stephanie?
Yes.
Alright, Stephanie, I already got the who are you bit, but who are you?
Well, I'm here as a tour guide, leading tours at the ghost hunt tonight. So I am a psychic medium. So I've been able to assist anybody back there that has messages, anybody that wants to come forward. So I'm helping out with the tour that way.
Oh, cool. So, as the night goes on, I'm going to start asking more and more unique questions as my victims come. So you're the first one. I'm going to ask this question. What got you into the paranormal community? What was that breaking point for you?
Well, I've always been interested in the paranormal ever since I was a child, and my grandmother was a card reader. My great-grandmother was a card reader. And I would say it was after losing my husband, I was able to start developing my own paranormal
Identity?
experiences. Well, not so much my identity, but my true self. I started experimenting what my true self really was and where I was going. So that led me into, meeting different people, taking classes, and just meeting a whole new realm of individuals.
So, you're on site, yes?
Yes.
Is this your first team you're on, or have you been with other teams?
No, this is my first team. I've worked at the Kent stage before, helping them out with their ghost walks in Kent, Ohio. But I primarily always just, worked with sight.
Oh, that's cool. So, I know it's like they used to work with RIP, and I heard that site has been around for about 9 years. Mm-hmm. Have you been with them since the beginning, or did you kind of join them later on?
Kind of like later on. So it's probably, I've probably been with site maybe about 6-7 years. So
you've been around for longer.
Yeah. We've done the ghost walks at Glendale, and we've done other paranormal events. So yeah, I've been around for a while.
Well, that's awesome. So I know you mentioned you said your mother was a card reader?
No, my great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother.
Yeah.
So, like, did you actually get to know her as a person?
I never met her.
You never met her. It was just kind of like family history popped up, and you're like, I'm gonna get into this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I never met her.
Did you get into card reading as well, then?
Yes, I do cards, yes.
You do, like, oracles, tarot?
Oracles.
Alright, that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
I do spirit totems, animal totems, your spirit animal. I actually follow the Native American teachings and that path. So I do, I practice that, and then I do different oracle cards, but I like the animal, the tarot, or the spirit animal readings I like to do.
I was like, I know my sister picked up a deck, and in the deck she was like, this one has a worm in it, and she was expecting it to be like the most like cool, like probably one of the craziest ones in there. But when she read it, she was actually a little bit disappointed on how whoever wrote the book for that deck described the worm. So I don't know. Eventually, we're gonna drag her on here to talk about her deck, because she recently picked up a deck of the animal totems. Mm-hmm. So what's your take on, like, what are some of your favorite ones through some of the decks, or your current deck that you have?
I use the animal medicine deck. I write my own meanings on the deck. I don't, I don't read the books that come with them. I intuitively do my own readings. And then I wrote, because people like to see, what's on the card. They just don't want to see a plain looking card. So I write my feelings on the card. And I know what's been presented to me numerous times, and that's Hawk. hawk medicine, and really the hawk is a messenger. And you know, when you see hawks, I actually had a hawk die in my yard.
Oh wow.
So to me that was like, you know, and I was able to, you know, it was like a sacred thing to me, for that hawk medicine to pass away in my yard. And I feel that's one of my totems that I resonate with, and it's about really about perception and how you perceive things in a higher way.
So taking the hawk as a messenger, and you say you resonate with it, you could say, in a sense, you find yourself more as a messenger, not really a... Really, if you resonate with the hawk, you're going to find yourself more doing the messenger things.
Yes, you can be the messenger, or you can be the one... Okay, you can be the one receiving the message. You know,
Yeah.
so hawk is kind of like, you know, when you hear a hawk cry, you know, it's for you to be aware of probably messages coming in. So that's what the hawk means.
It's like I get like a vibe that like from you is like a very, you're able to help commune a lot of things for people. If somebody comes to
Yes.
you, you're able to help get the message to them.
Yes.
That's what I was kind of getting at. It's like it's kind of like your calling.
Yeah. Yeah, basically that's what it is. I mean, you know, it was just like tonight on the way here. Yeah, tonight on the way here, a beautiful hawk just presented itself to me. You know, it came over and it sat down in the field, and I was at the stop sign, and I'm like, "Thank you, Brother Hawk. I get the message," and it was really like, you know, wishing me well, wishing good things, you know. But to not see, you know, to look outside the box, to
Right.
look at things in a higher perspective.
This is Brian again with Spellwinders, and I know since Stephanie is shy, and I know she's not going to share everything that she does, and I want to make sure that as one of your students, I go ahead and let them know that you also were the ones that actually taught us Angel Ray, which is a different form of energy healing, and
Right.
to believe it or not, that's one of the ways that a gentleman who works with us has actually been able to pick up more energies and stuff like that, and she doesn't do herself enough justice telling people what she does, so I felt that I needed to go ahead and share that information with everybody, because I know Stephanie would not do that.
So this
Thank
is
you, Brian.
becoming more clear. So if you ever needed to, if there was ever going to be a book on your life, it wouldn't be an autobiography. It'd be a biography, and Brian would write it for you.
Yes.
With you there every
He would
step
be
of
my
the way.
ghostwriter.
Yep. I see it now.
The best part about this is not only would it be a ghostwriting, but I have a feeling that there would be some pushing on her part for me as well, so...
Oh, believe me, I have pushed Brian multiple times.
Yep.
So, you know, he likes to push me, and I like to push him. So it's a push me, pull you thing.
And sometimes with Spirit you have to do that, so...
That's
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes I miss our own messages.
That makes total sense, though. I mean, you got to push each other to get better.
Right. Absolutely.
Everyone's always learning.
Right.
You only get old when you stop it.
That's right. Absolutely.
So what? So you said tonight you've seen a hawk, or I guess before you showed up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is this becoming a regular occurrence? Is every time you come here there's a hawk?
No, I would just say, you know, it's like, you know, there's something coming, you know, something I'm really prepared to do, and you know, that hawk medicine just comes in, and it was just like, you know, every morning when I get up, I always say to the Creator, you know, thank you for the blessings, the gifts, and the miracles that I receive each day. And to me, that's like a blessing. You know, it's just one of those blessings that comes in to show that, you know, I'm here, I'm with you, you're never alone.
That's cool. So have you experienced anything else today aside from?
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tonight. It's been amazing. A lady came here today. She came to drop off some auto parts, but she had bought tickets for the ghost hunt, and me and Sean took her. Here I am calling him Sean. His name's Shane. So we're taking her and her grandson, and she was getting she would get next to some of the cars, and she would be kind of sick in her stomach.
she would feel nauseated. And so we moved on. She's kind of a sensitive, and we went to another car, and a long story short, it come out that she had been in a car accident many years ago, and she lost a child in that car accident. And as Shane was taking pictures of her next to this car, she was drawn to this one car. It was a Mustang, but the problem of it was it had a white roof and it had white interior, and the car that she had the accident in had a white roof and white interior.
Wow.
It wasn't the same make of the car. But as Shane was taking her picture, I saw her mother standing behind her. Now, I did not know that she had been in a car accident. She hadn't even said anything. And she's like, I'm stuck. I can't move. I can't move away from this car. And I said, you know, I have your mother standing here behind you. And she put her head down, and she's like, I lost my daughter in a car accident, and this is the kind of car that it kind of looked like. And I said, well, I feel that maybe, you know, this is a healing moment for you, that your mom's here to comfort you. And she felt much better after she, you know, her mom had given her the message, and then we moved on. And then as we came back, she went back to that car, and she stood there and looked at the car, and instantly I felt her daughter's energy. And I said, your daughter is, you know, I know she was a young child, but I said, she's showing herself as an adult. And I won't really go into the messages because it's private.
Yeah, it's private. I feel like it's kind of like it's time to move on type of thing. It's like I'm in a better place now, and thank you for giving me a chance.
Yeah, it was something totally different than that. It, you know,
not quite like that, but
yeah, it was something totally different from that. And and it was validation for her mom to know what these answers were. Like I said, it's private.
Yeah.
And so her mom just felt like, you know, she goes, I feel so much better now. So we walked on, and she goes, I feel lighter. I feel much happier. And she said, I feel like I could be skipping. As we turned the corner, I could smell pipe tobacco. And I looked over at her and I said, do you know anybody that smokes a pipe? And she goes, my dad. And I said, I'm getting goosebumps right now because her dad did show up. And she said, you know, her dad, you know, was like, I said, was your dad kind of a jokester or a prankster? And she goes, oh my gosh. She said, he was always pulling, you know, pranks or jokes and stuff. And she said, I said, very lighthearted. And she said, yeah. And I said, that's why he's here. He's here to help you bring your mood back up. You know, you've gotten, you know, your messages. You've gotten a healing from this tonight. And I said, you'll be able to move forward in this healing. And I said, your dad is there to support you in this. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Brian's over here trying to not intrude. He's like,
I know I'm just chiming in. I know this is her little thing, but I think one of the things that I think Sight does, and that I don't think is typical for ghost hunters, is that we actually have respect for spirits. We're not going to sit there and egg them on. We're not going to sit there and stir the pot just to get a reaction. And like this afternoon, we actually took an opportunity, went out back. We actually honored the spirits. We actually did a little bit of just letting the spirits know what was going on tonight, and that we asked them that if they could let themselves be present tonight, help us out in making themselves be present tonight.
We would respect them.
Exactly.
We would respect them and their energies, and we would not let anyone else disrespect them.
And a lot of times, a lot of the ghost hunters, they're more and I'm not throwing anyone under the bus or anything like that. A lot of the teams out there are more inclined to stir the pot, and they want a reaction. They want to see that negative reaction versus getting a positive reaction out of the situation.
yeah, it's like the only time I was ever been guilty of that is going, go Browns, where the spirit is like, going to murder anyone who says Browns. That's probably it, because I still find it kind of a little funny that there's an entity out there that isn't quite fond of other sports teams but the Steelers.
But you know what, though? The funny part is if we are passionate about a team in life, why wouldn't we be passionate about that team in death?
Yeah.
And it's sometimes those stronger points are what actually shows themselves.
Yeah. I think that entity probably is more of a, why are they rooting for this other team, and not more of a, why are they rooting for this other team? They should be rooting for the Steelers. It's more of a, why not the Steelers in a way.
Well, I get what you're trying to convey, and and I understand that totally. But I also look at too that once that spirit, even spirits that are here, and I'm going to say earthbound spirits, they hold on to that personality.
Yeah.
They do. Spirit that crosses, they don't necessarily hold on to that. They will bring that personality forward so that you recognize them. But they're much more higher vibrational, and they're not into the sports teams or
right.
That's something that doesn't make sense to them. I mean, they understand it because maybe hey, I was that way once too, but it's not important to them. There's other things that are much more important that they want to be able to help people here back home,
right.
On the planet. So and I have my feelings of a lot of the negative type energies I think are created by people.
Yeah.
They're created by people, by negative thoughts, negative feelings.
Yeah, very
negative speech.
In the I haven't been hunting long or investigating long. It's only been about 4 or 5 years going on. But in the time that I have done it, usually what it is a misunderstood entity, or even just like it wasn't in life. It wasn't a malevolent spirit at all.
No.
In life, it was just an average person, or somebody
right.
that maybe just had some bad luck, even.
Mm-hmm.
But very rarely do you find regular earthbound entities that are actually malevolent.
Right. And I have to say too that that type of energy that comes through like that way, they're just I think they are in a cultural state of mind when they've passed, that sometimes they feel that they weren't worthy of being able to go to the light, or for a better word, that they're not worthy to be where everybody else is, that they just stay there because a lot of it is self-worth.
So entities with no self-confidence.
Right, pretty much, and because maybe that's how they were raised, their cultural beliefs, religious beliefs. However, maybe just goes back to that how you were raised kind of thing, and I think that's why you have a lot of earthbound spirits, because they just don't feel that self-worth, that they're worthy to be able to move forward.
I know that if I died today, I probably wouldn't pass over right away. It'd take me a couple centuries. And that's more of just like my generation thing. A lot of us are very low self-confidence, and if we do have self-confidence, it's usually because we're depressed and we're hiding it with humor. That's the best way to put it.
Well, that's true. But you got to look at it like this. You're very young.
Yeah, we got a lot to do.
You've got a lot to do. You got a lot of growing to do, and a lot of that is, your spiritual growth.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say really it's even a generational thing. I think it's just a young people thing.
Absolutely.
Before you hit 30,
Absolutely.
you're just kind of like, what am I doing here?
Right.
How
Absolutely.
does this work?
Absolutely. Yes.
I think we'll wrap this up here. We'll go on another quick break and drag someone else over here for some more interviews in a little bit. I
Okay.
do see it is almost 9 o'clock, and I know we're supposed to have a big hunt for about 2 hours here soon.
Yes.
So I'll be dragging over whoever I can get my hands on.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
You think they see my flag?
That is probably
Skeptics! Welcome back to the Skeptic Sanctum. I'm here with Becky. And it is going to be our final interview of the night, because almost everyone, I mean everyone, is outside, in the back, in the dark, in the mud, with the cars and the ghosts.
Yeah, the final walkthrough. So you just got me trying to huddle in our little tent here, keeping warm.
How do you think tonight turned out? Despite the rain and the
I was
wind.
surprised. I didn't think. I mean, we didn't have a huge number of people, but we had more than I thought we would have because of the weather and the rain and the cold, and it being our first ghost hunt here at this location. And I'm kind of pleased. I mean, we had a decent turnout, I think, and I think everybody who went back on the ghost hunt, everybody had some kind of experience. They picked up on something. Somebody came through. So I would say from that aspect alone, it was pretty good that everybody got to experience something. Didn't you just went back? What did you?
We just went back there, and my mother handed me the Ovilus, and it's the first time I've used it in a while. And one of the first things it said to me was, used list roadway. And this was right after Stephen and I were walking through, and he had literally just warned me about a giant mud path that was in front of me, just to make sure I didn't walk through it, because it was a useless part of the path.
Oh, it said useless.
It said used list.
Oh.
But I have a feeling that's probably what it's trying to convey, especially since it did say roadway.
That's pretty awesome.
The words that almost came out of my mouth at the same exact time that this came off was, what a useless path.
Oh.
And that's the only reason I'm pretty sure that that's what it meant.
Yeah, because it probably grabbed the closest word to the word it wanted.
Or yeah, because it's something I've noticed before too. It tries to take two words and try to make them one word. And sometimes, so you'll get some really long string of words sometimes, but if you listen to it, it sounds like it only says a few words.
Okay, I've never used one of those before. That's pretty...
Yeah, one time I had to do a string of like 8 words. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It was pretty cool though, and then the next thing it said was, it said something about something else, and then we were walking past another grouping of cars, and it said something about something in babies, and I'm like, why do I get this feeling there's a minivan next to me? I look over, Steven shines a light on it, and lo and behold, there is a minivan. And it's just like, I can't remember exactly what the message was, but it was something about something not going well with babies, and then after we start leaving, it said wrong cake, and I'm like, is this why everyone died? Is because somebody had to return the cake for the party?
Oh man, that would be awful.
That would be horrible. That's one way to ruin a party.
Yeah, half the guest, and I shouldn't laugh about it. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad for laughing.
Whenever you look at the vehicle, it looks like it just got ran off the road or something.
Oh.
Not that it doesn't look like anyone died or anything.
Okay, that's good.
It looks like it was just a wreck, and they took it to the closest towing company. It doesn't look... if anyone died, it would have been the driver, but there wasn't even any blood in it either.
Okay.
So,
ooh, I didn't look in the cars for blood. Ooh.
As somebody who was going in for an estimator and collision and such, that was one thing they always told us to look for, was blood, and just be wary of it, because that means there's probably going to be a lawsuit or something involved with this vehicle. So you need to be as detailed as you possibly can.
Oh, I don't know, anything else?
Oh, it's like, it's been a good night. So there are plans to do more of these?
Yes, we want to come back in the spring. Right.
we all look at Bert, who's one of the owners of the property.
Because somebody don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think we're planning again, maybe around April. We want to come out before the bugs start really kicking in, because it's buggy back there.
Late March, early April.
Yeah, something like that.
Right before the mosquitoes start coming out, because they always come out like late April, early May.
Yeah, so we want to beat the bugs, but we're definitely going to come back out again.
Oh yeah. I will probably want to come out if we're not doing something else already. And it's like, I know in April we're going to be down in Waverly, my mother and I.
Oh, I've never been there.
I've never either, but I've been to Kentucky a lot, and so this is not going to be too far of a drive for me. It's only like another hour and a half compared to my usual drive.
Grab my dad and take him inside, and then I'll be back. Okay. Right, Dad. Come with me.
Oh.
Our studio guest is leaving us.
Yeah, we tried to keep him warm.
Don't grab that. That's hot.
I got gloves on. All right.
No, I'm talking about. He's gonna put his hand on top of it.
I want to put my hand on top of it. It's cold. Raven is here. Raven says hi to all of her Skeptic-y fans. She is retired but not tired. Or tired but not retired. Something like that. But I think we're about ready to sign off. Everyone's
Thank you for
packing up.
coming out.
No problem. It was fun.
Thanks to all your listeners for listening.
All 5 of them.
Yay, we love those 5.
Alrighty. Thank you, and we'll have a good night. And you as well, lovely listeners.
If they want their monster, I'll give them their monster.